Well, this is not the video that I was expecting to make this week, but unfortunately me and the boat are going to have to move on from this spot. I want to make it abundantly clear that my friends whose land that I'm staying on right now, they're not pressuring me in any way to move, but we've reached the 2-year mark of the boat being in this spot here. And that was always my timeline. When I started, with the information I was given, I thought it was going to take 2 years to redo this. Clearly, I was wrong. And part of me wishes I had gotten a surveyor so that I, could have known exactly what this was going to take. But there's a saying, and I'm going to totally butcher it because I don't remember the wording, that goes something like, if you knew how long it was going to take, you never would have started. And that's kind of what I feel about this whole project. I don't have any regrets taking on a project this large. I've met some incredible people and had amazing experiences that I never would have had without this boat. And I've built this YouTube channel with just like the most supportive audience I could have ever hoped for. And so thank you all for watching and supporting this. So this space was always meant to be temporary. That was kind of the agreement with my friends, and just the scope of the project that I thought it was going to be, that was okay. Like, I still think that this, if I didn't need to replace every single frame in this boat, and if the entire interior wasn't delaminating and the deck beams weren't, I mean, I knew about the deck beams, but basically what I'm saying is, if this was a smaller scale refit, I think that this would have been fine. But to do an entire rebuild here, I'm just like realizing that it's totally out of the question. So that's one of the reasons I have to move on, is that I can't build here, and I need shelter. I need like a proper shelter. Like I really like being out in the woods. Even before I started this, I always loved camping. But to do this for 2 years, every day, pretty much, it's starting to take a toll on my health. And I need gloves. So one of the big things is the bug situation, clearly. I just picked up this bug jacket yesterday, and it's been a lifesaver because we're having a really bad black fly year. Every year there will be like one bug that's really bad, and this year it's black flies. But next come the mosquitoes, and I don't know how bad those are going to be. But I think the biggest thing is the ticks. I don't walk around outside the perimeter of these wood chips, but I've still found like 2 deer ticks on me already. And I've contracted Lyme disease twice. I don't want to do it again. So the bugs are one thing. That's not like a deal breaker. I can deal with some bugs, but the weather is another thing. Clearly the winter was difficult. There was a lot of snow last winter. And the rain is also kind of a pain in the butt because all of my tools are getting wet and wrecked because I have nowhere really dry to keep them near the boat. They're kind of all over the place right now. Like, I have some in my car, I have some in my truck, I have some in like a storage unit, I have some at the workshop that I renovated. And then that rain is also starting to affect the boat because the tarp can't really cover the whole thing. It's running down the prow and the stem into the boat behind the planking, and that rainwater is going to start rotting the stem, which is like a huge repair, and I don't want to get into that. So I just want to make sure that me and the boat and the tools are protected, and I just can't, it's taken me 2 years, but I've realized that I can't do that here. I also, like with the tarp, as you can see, if there's any wind at all, it really starts to billow. So often I'll have to lower it and cinch it around the boat with a rope, and that eliminates all of my headroom on deck, and there's nowhere outside of the boat to keep anything dry. So the tarp is getting wrecked, even though that's like one of the heaviest tarps I could afford. Plus, I have to raise and lower it at the beginning and end of every day, which doesn't sound like much, but over time, all of these things combined really add up. And that's the single biggest reason that I feel like I need to move, is the amount of time that this is taking. This shouldn't have taken 2 years to get to this point. I have spent, in the last 2 weeks, I think I've spent 15 hours searching for tools and driving back and forth between all the spots where I'm keeping them. And like not having a nicely organized workbench or tool storage is really, really holding me back. And like, don't get me wrong, I really like taking things at a slow pace, but it's starting to affect my mental health to put this much effort into this project and not see progress. So I kind of have to strike a balance where I don't want to rush through this whole thing because I want to savor the experience. But at the same time, I really need to start moving forward. And that really became evident as soon as I got this first outwale bent in place after I had steamed it. The relief I felt, it was huge. It was like, oh, this is what it feels like to actually accomplish something. And I don't mean to be negative about this whole process. I'm really not trying to be, but it has been a little bit disheartening, you know, just how long this is taking. The feeling of spinning my wheels it's something that I felt before I started this. And I always really struggle with that. I really like to see some sort of steady progress. So the solution is to build myself a proper boat shed. And I have a place to do that. It's not mine, but there's an agreement in place that I can be there for, well, as long as I need. But I do have a spot nearby, which is nice because it'll be easier to move all the things over, where I can start to prepare to build a boat shed. So that's going to give me an on-site workshop. It's going to give me clean, dry, safe places to store my tools. I'm going to be able to put up a solar array, which is amazing. I'll have so this is still going to be an off-grid sort of situation, but I can put that big power station that Blue Eddy sent me. That'll stay there, and then I can feed solar energy into it. It's going to protect the boat so much better. It's not going to be under the hot sun and getting wet in the rain, and it's not going to get crushed under the weight of the snow. I was afraid last winter that I thought those roof beams were going to snap a few times. I really tried to keep the snow off of the top of the boat as much as I could. But I think the biggest thing is the centralization of all of my tools and materials in one spot. That's going to save me an enormous amount of time. So all of this means that I'm going to have to take some time off to build this. I don't want to do another like 4 to 6 video series about building a shelter. I really want to get this done as fast as possible, and editing takes up a lot of my time. I'm still going to film it, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to compile it into one big video and then release that once the project's done. I'm going to post regular updates on Patreon, so if you really want to follow along in real time, I'll post some pictures and short videos. This is a really good time to do this too, because I'm still waiting to hear back from the sawmill about the Hackmatack or larch framing stock. So this is really a good time to find that wood, which I can't move forward without anyway, and just put myself in a better situation. I think this is going to speed things up immensely. I probably shouldn't speculate because it seems to bite me in the ass every time I do it, but I do think that having this shelter is going to be huge for me in the project. There will be one more video before the end of the month. Full disclosure, Blue Eddy has sponsored that one as well, which is going to help me pay for the shelter. But ultimately, I'm really excited about the work to come, and I'm really excited for the next chapter in this project. I think this is going to be amazing. I'm still going to have a connection to the forest. I won't be in the woods, so I might have to change the name, but I'm still like right on the edge of the woods. So I don't know what to call the channel anymore, but we'll figure something out. Yeah, so you'll see one more video in this spot, and then the next time I see you, I'll be in the new location.